My dear students and my viewers, to yet another video on my channel, Mathematics Made Easy. This is Ms. Ruchika welcoming you all to my session for today. In this session, we are going to discuss some last minute revision tips and important questions for my grade 9 students who are going to be giving the exam very soon now. It's quite close. So this is from module 7, rational functions. So let's get started with the revision on this module. This session is again going to be a long one that we'll be working on today, and for this video we are going to be covering the most important questions that are going to be coming for your end of term 2 grade 10 exam for math. So today we are covering module 7 rational functions. All those important questions we'll be covering that you can expect for your coming exams. So a lot of effort and a lot of time is going to go in this video for all of you, and it is going to be a long video, so please do watch it till the end. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit that subscribe button and press that bell icon to receive notification of all my upcoming videos. So let's begin the session on module 7, and before we go on to solving questions which are going to be important for your exams, I'm giving you a quick summary. This I've taken from your math book, page 365 if you have it. It's like a formula sheet giving you important points from all the lessons that are there. So from the first two lessons, 7.1 and 7.2, you have operations with rational expression. So quick recap, you had done the 4 operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So how and what rules you are going to be applied are mentioned here. We'll look at questions and we'll see what are the steps to follow. Then for lesson 7.3 and 7.4, where you did the graphing of the reciprocal function and the rational functions, these are some important points. You will surely be getting questions on this, so just keep them in mind and take them like a formula sheet. Next one, lesson 7.5, which was on variation. Now in this you had done 4 kinds of variation. If you remember, you had done about direct variation, inverse variation. So accordingly, the formula is going to change. So for direct variation, it will be this. For joint variation, where you have x, y, z, 3 variables, it is going to be this. For inverse, it is opposite of direct. It is going to be this. And you also had one more case, the last type of variation, which was combined variation. So there it was a mix of direct and inverse. I will be going into more details about the 4 types of variation. The girls to whom I've taught in class, they already know about it. For others, I'm going to revise it once we move to a question on this lesson. Okay, last but not the least, you have lesson 7.6, which talked about rational equations and inequalities. The important concept that we used in most of the solving of questions where you have to find the solution was finding the LCD. So we are going to be doing that, finding the solution of a rational equation, and then second step would be to draw its graph on the number line. There we will revisit points from the lesson of the previous ones, 7.3, 7.4, where we talked about graphing reciprocal or rational functions. So there we are going to also talk about stuff like related equation. We'll talk about excluded values once more, and then we'll use all of them to test different values in the interval, and finally to do the graph and to give the solution. So these are all going to be the main points. Just a quick summary before we go on to the questions. So let's start now with questions which are important. We begin with lesson 7.1 and 7.2. Okay, so this is the first set of important questions for your coming exams, which talks about questions from lesson 7.1 and 7.2. These are on page 318 of your math book if you want to see them, and these are question 46 to 49. Now, out of all of these, I'm going to be solving for you question 46, 47. That's what you are going to do with me. For question 46 and 47, we will discuss a little bit. I will give you some hints. They are quite easy as compared to these two. So you will try them yourself in your notebook. And then later, as we move on in the video, I will give you the answer key, so you can also check your answers. So let's start with 46 and 47. And before we move on to the next step, let us read the question carefully. And another important tip for your exams that is going to help you is to read your question well. What is the question asking? Most of the time in questions of mathematics, half of the answer is in the question itself. So let's read nicely. Question 46. Compare and contrast. There are two expressions given. One is this. Second is this. So you need to compare them. You need to contrast. Means you have to see what are the differences, what are the similarities in simple words. Okay, so we'll compare these two expressions. And in question 47, you need to find the error. Again, there are two parts. One is this person Troy. Second person is Beverly. You have to compare and contrast who is giving the correct answer and who is making mistake here. So both are trying to simplify the same expression, which is this one. However, one of them has done a mistake. So that mistake you girls or anyone who's giving the exam should not repeat. So you will find the error and correct it. Also, this is a question when you need to explain your reasoning. So you need to work out all the steps nicely. So let's get on to solving the questions now. Okay, so we begin with doing solution for 46 question first. So because we are comparing and contrasting, I'm making this vertical line to contrast the two things. The first expression is x minus 6, x plus 2 multiplied with x plus 3. So all of this is multiplied together, three factors, and together they are divided with x plus 3. That is, I'm going to change color, the first expression. Let's look at second one. Second one talks about only x minus 6, one factor multiplied with the other factor, x plus 2. So first let's see how I can simplify the first expression a little bit more. Now before we do the simplification, I would like to highlight here that what is the numerator and denominator. This is a rational expression. What it is right here, it's a rational expression, means it has a numerator. I'm going to use my highlighter here, highlight for you. Yes, so x minus 6, this is a part of numerator multiplied with x minus 2 numerator and x minus 3. So it has three factors. That's the numerator. Now I'll change color a little bit and show you denominator. So this is the denominator. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now for this question, you know what is numerator, you know what is denominator. So let's now solve this question. Now I have a question before we go forward for this question to you. When is this rational expression undefined? Or what is the value of x that this rational expression cannot take? So for that you need to look at the denominator. So when is the point where the denominator is becoming 0? Let's find that. So whenever you have a rational expression given to you of the form numerator divided by denominator, remember it will be undefined at the point where denominator is becoming 0. So I just solve, I subtract 3. Plus 3 minus 3 will collapse on the left side, and on the right side you're just left with negative. So this is the point. So I can safely say that this rational expression number 1 which I have here is not defined for this value. Okay, let's come to second one. Is there any value this one is not defined? See, here it is not a rational expression. It is just being multiplied with two factors. It does not have a denominator. So this one is quite well defined function for all values of x. So it can be positive, negative, 0. So that's one basic point of difference between the two. Here it has a denominator where x equal to negative 3 is a point which cannot be taken by this function, because in that case this will be undefined. So that's not a part of domain. However, for this one all points are there. Now let's go closer to this one. Let's simplify it a little bit more. If you see, x plus 3 and x plus 3 can be cancelled for this. And if you cancel them, provided your x is not equal to negative 3, because this is an undefined value, it will not be a part of domain. Provided that is there, you can cancel them, and in that case the answer or the simplified form of this part would be x minus 6 multiplied with x plus 2, which is same as part 2. So that's the similarity. What is the similarity? Let's write it, the final step now. The similarity in expression 1 and 2, the one that you needed to compare and contrast, is that on simplification, and this simplification is possible provided your x is not equal to 3. Okay, because if x is equal to negative 3, this expression number 1 becomes undefined. On this condition, on simplification, both expressions become same. Okay, they are equal in fact. So that's about comparing and contrasting for question 46. Let's discuss question 47 here only in the same screen. Now, what are you simplifying here? You are dividing. This is the operation. So remember, when you are dividing two rational expression. Now, why I say rational expression again, this lesson is actually on that. And if you see, this is a well-defined one. It has a numerator, denominator, similarly this one, both of them, right? So we are dividing two rational expression. And the rule says, if you remember from your classes, that when you are dividing the second term here, which is dividing, you take the reciprocal. So the rule is, I'm going to again write for you, take the reciprocal of this term. So 4 over y minus x. That's the correct rule. So let's see who Troy or Bevelry has done the right thing. So here if you see your Troy's answer, he has already solved in his notebook. He has taken in the first step reciprocal of this term, not the second one. And that's why he got this answer, whereas Bevelry gets a different answer. Why? Because she has done the correct thing. She has taken the reciprocal of the second term. So when she does that, it is y minus x over 4. And then she has cancelled the common term, which is x minus y here. She has changed the sign, and that's why it is negative. So you cancel that, and therefore we can safely say that Bevelry has done the correct thing. However, Troy has done a mistake. Okay, so I hope you will not repeat this mistake in your exam, and when you are dividing two rational expression, as per the rule, you will take reciprocal of only the second term. Very important. So this is the formal answer key. You can check your answer. It's just a different way of writing. I have explained to you this nicely, so I hope you will understand the solution written here nicely. Also, same way, Bevelry is correct, and Troy made the mistake when he multiplied by the reciprocal of the dividend and not the divisor. So let me just quickly explain you the meaning of these words, dividend and divisor, in case some of you don't know. So here what is going to happen, you had x plus y over x minus y. This was the first expression, and you were dividing it with the second one, 4 over y minus. Okay, now I'll change color and write so that you understand the difference between the two. Okay, so when you are dividing two rational expression, one is the term which is getting divided and second is the one which is dividing. So 1 and 2 I'm going to number. So dividend is the one which is getting divided, which is the first one in this question. And divisor is the one which is doing the division, which is dividing. So that is the second one. You can just remember this by simply recalling the rule that you had done in your smaller grade. So for example, you are trying to do simple thing. Let's take 15 divided by 3. So 15 is inside, 3 is outside. So what is dividend? Dividend is 15, divisor is 3, which is dividing. And once you do that division, you know 15 divided by 3, the quotient will be 5. So you put 15 here, and what you get after subtraction is your remainder. So your your division algorithm, the one that you use for small numbers also, you've been doing this from lower grades. This will really help you to remember that your dividend, the number which you are dividing, or here in this case the rational expression that you're dividing, is equal to divisor multiplied with quotient plus remainder. That's your division algorithm. Very, very important. This is not asked in the question, but in case you don't know, I have just added it here, and that will really help you to understand the difference between dividend and divisor, and don't do the mistake that Troy has done in this question. Now let's discuss a little bit about question number 48 and 49. These are easy, you can do it yourself. And I'll give you a trick for solving the question. Whenever you get a question like this, where you need to find a particular expression, you see a question mark, then you take it as some other variable. Now generally the thing which is missing that you need to find in a given question, you take as the unknown x, right? You take that variable x. But here since x is already there and we don't want you to get confused, so this variable you can choose as y. So the question reduces to this part, y over x minus 6 equal to x minus 2, and a simpler way of doing is to find the y. So when we need to find any variable which is unknown, we take everything else on the other side. And before you do that, you see very clearly x minus 6 and x minus 6 are same, so you can cancel them all together. So what is y finally? You are left with x plus 3, so you can just cross multiply, move it to the other side, and your y comes out to be x minus 2 already multiplied with x plus 3. Okay, so either you do cross multiplication, get your answer, or if you don't want to do that, you're more comfortable in doing the inverse, then here the equation that you're solving is y divided by x plus 3 equal to x minus 2. So just do the inverse of division. So you want y, so you do the inverse of that. So you multiply both sides with x plus 3. In that case, on the left, x plus 3 and x plus 3 will cancel and you get the same answer for y. So both methods are easy to do. Come to the next one, 49. Here you just need to identify the odd one out. So I'm going to change color and help you do that. So you need to find which one does not belong. So this kind of a question you can expect in your ministry exam for A, B, C, D. It's a multiple choice one, so you will get 4 options like this, and you have to just pick and select the one which is correct answer, odd one out of all these 4. So which one does not belong? So maybe you identify the similarity or the differences, and then you justify your conclusion. Justify your conclusion means give reason why you say that one is odd one out. So let's observe. Now all of them, this one has a numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. So all of them here are rational expressions. But what is the difference? So let's find. So here x is in the denominator. What is the power? Power is 1. Here x is in numerator, denominator both. 1 power is 2, 1 is 1. So degree is 1, degree is 2 in the numerator. And this one, if you see, x is having degree 1, but it has a square root. It has a radical expression. What is a radical expression? It is either the square root or cube root or symbol like this. So here it is actually square root. And last one also has degree 2. So if you see A, B, D have a similarity. They all have numerator and denominator as polynomials, right? So either they have a degree 1 or 2, quite well defined. However, for C part, if you see, it has a radical expression, so it is not a polynomial. So C is definitely going to be your answer. It is the one which is different from the other options. Since the denominator has radical expression, it is not a polynomial, correct? So therefore C is the odd one out. I hope you can reason out like that when you have questions similar to this in your exam. Now we are moving on to some more questions. Here we have different operations. If you read question 1, this is on now page 366 of your math book. This one talks about multiplication. This one talks about simplifying, and the operation that you see here is division. So you are dividing two quadratic expressions here if you look, because both have power 2. And question 3 is one of the most important questions. Similar you can expect in your exam. So let's discuss question 3 for sure, and I will do maybe one more for you here. Though all of these are very, very simple. So let's do them. Okay. So question 1 here, you are doing multiplication. Okay. And if you look, this is one expression. This is another one. So multiplication is one of the simplest. Here you just cancel if you have anything in the common in the numerator denominator and simplify to the best of your possibilities. So let's make this question a little simpler. We see here numbers like 42, 5, 15 and 7. So we'll take those numbers together. So 42 multiplied with 5 divided by, in denominator you have 15 with 7. So I take that together and I try to take my variables together. So what are the variables in numerator? X square. You also have a y square. Denominator just has x cubed. So this is my step one. I like to make things simple for you. So this is how we can break it into two parts. Number separate, variable separate. Now it becomes quite easy. Let's see what is common, how we can divide. So 5 and 15, they go with 3. 7, 6 are 42. And 6 divided by 3, now you know, very simple, 2. So you see, we don't need any calculator. As long as you know the table of 5, as long as you know the table of 7, you can just divide them easily without a calculator. Okay, now x square and x cube, these are like terms. I'm just going to highlight them. However, your y square is alone. So y square will be like that. There will be no change to this y square after multiplication on simplification. However, when I divide x square with x cube, these are like terms. Let's keep them together in a bracket. Now I want you to recall your laws of exponent. So what does law of exponent says? If you have two exponents with same base and different power and you are doing division like this, x squared divided by x cubed, then the power gets subtracted. So I'm going to subtract 2 with 3. That leaves me with a negative 1 here. That's going to be your answer. Now if you want to convert this question into a better way of writing, you want to just put it in the form of um, a numerator denominator, then you can also convert 2y square. This is negative power, x to the power negative 1. So by law of negative exponents, it's going to come down. So this is your final answer. Easy. That's all about this question. Let's move on to question 2. Now take a minute. I've already made lots of videos on this factorization concept and I've explained this to you in great detail before. If you haven't watched my previous video, all my new subscribers, they can go ahead and watch the same. It's a very important concept, factorization, that you've been learning since grade 8. Now you're in grade 10, so you should be confident. In case you're not, please watch the video. So here, whenever you see quadratic equation and it's a question on simplification, the trick that will help you for your exam, you can take it as an exam tip, is to do factorization. And all the girls that I teach already, they know about this in great detail. So you are going to factor the quadratic equation in numerator, that is 3x square plus x minus 2. Similarly, you will factorize the quadratic equation in the denominator. I'm going to write that as well for you. So it's a quadratic equation, degree is 2, so you know it is going to have two factors. Go ahead and watch my videos in case you don't know how to do the factorization. And those who already know, it will come out to be 3x minus 2 here and x plus 1 here, correct? Similarly, for the second one, it will come out to be 2x minus 5 and x plus 1. So now that you have all the factors here for numerator and denominator, and the question is actually on division, it means that it is same as dividing these two quadratic expressions as dividing their factors. Now, do you see some common factor? Yes, x plus 1. So that is going to khalas. That can cancel from numerator denominator. And your final answer on simplification after removing the common factor is this. That's your answer. Okay, so I hope this was useful for you, the trick which I gave you on factorization. And even if they change the numbers in the exam, the method is going to be same. That's why I understand the concept well. Okay, let's go to one of the most important questions for your coming exams, which is this word problem. So here, as you see in the figure, they have given you a rectangular solid. Some of you might recall the other name for this rectangular solid, which is a cuboid. So volume of this cuboid is given to you in terms of x. It's an expression in x. And from the figure, it's quite easy to see that the base of this rectangle, let me just shade it a little bit. This one, the base is a rectangle. That's why it has the name rectangular solid or cuboid. So you have a quadratic equation given here. The area of the base is the area of this rectangle, correct? because it's in rectangular shape. Now look at the height. Height is not given to you. You just are given a value of h, and that's what you need to find. So what is the height of the solid? This h value you need to find, and definitely you need to find it in terms of x here. So what is the question? Let's understand. H value you need to find in terms of x. Okay. So as I told you, for most of your math questions, your answer is in the question itself. So look at this expression. Look at this value that you need to find and use the volume formula. That is all. Big hint for this question. Let's solve it and understand in detail now. Okay, now this question, before we try to solve, let's highlight the important information. We've already done that, but I'm just quickly doing it once more. So area of the base is given. So as I told you, answer is in the question itself. So let's write the answer and the values which are given to us correctly first. So capital A represents the area of base, and as you see, the base is a rectangle here. I will highlight for you. And why you know it is a rectangle? Because name rectangular solid is given. Even if they write cuboid, don't get confused. It is another name, but the meaning is same. So this area is given to you as a quadratic expression, x square minus x minus. Now this is area of rectangle. Remember that. So it means it is nothing but length multiplied with breadth. Okay, and height is what you need to find. And if I write the formula for volume, volume actually is given to you. So I'm just writing it one more time from the question itself. So answer is in the question. Now you write V equal to LBH. Length multiplied with base multiplied with height. That's the formula, correct? And length multiplied by breadth is nothing but area, which is given to you. So can I write like this? It is same as x cube minus 9x, which is nothing but the volume equal to area. Now what we need to find? Let's come back. We need to find h. So can we say from V equal to AH that h is going to be V divided by A? Tell me, is this okay? And you are given all of these things. We just now need to divide. Volume is given. How much in terms of x? X cube minus 9x. Area is given. How much in terms of x? X square plus 8x, sorry, plus x minus 6. So these are the two divisions. So the question reduces to, what is the concept? Division of two rational expressions. So till this step, if you have done correctly, no one can stop you from getting the correct answer A, B, C, D, apart from the fact that you have revised your factorization well. You have done enough practice of questions on factorization, and that you have watched all my videos for help if you need. Okay, so let's now factor the factorization of numerator. This is having power cube, so it will have 3 roots. That's an hint for you from the degree. Now factorization of numerator, I can take x common. So let me take that x out, and inside you are left with x square minus 9. Let's come to denominator. It's a quadratic equation, degree 2. We have done enough practice how to do the factorization of quadratic. So I hope all of my girls out there are able to do the factors. So one factor will be x minus 2. We'll have two factors, because the power is 2 here. So one is this, another is this. What about this one? This is also quadratic, x square minus 9. And a hint for all of you for doing factorization for this, I've made a video, I'll put it in the link, where we did difference of squares identity. So you can do factorization either using middle term splitting, which we did for the denominator here, or the other technique for factorization is using algebra, using algebraic identity. That's what we do for numerator. So x square minus 9. Now 9 is a perfect square of which number? 3. So you see here, I will repeat. So difference means subtraction. Square means the power. So you remember that this is the identity, difference of squares. That's another trick for you for exams, how to remember the formula, how to remember the identity. So x square minus 3. So this is same as a plus b, a minus b. Anyone who has forgotten or doesn't remember from grade 9, you had done this in great detail. the identity I'm writing here, a square minus b square, difference of squares, a plus b and a minus b. So these are the two factors. So I've got my two factors here. Let's replace. So wherever there is x square minus 9, this one I've now factorized and I'm going to put as these two factors. Oh, don't forget the x. There's an x also. Okay. Now you cancel the common factors. What are the common factors? I'm sure you're able to identify x plus 3 and x plus 3. From numerator denominator will collapse to give you x times x minus 3 divided by x minus 2. That's your answer. You cannot simplify this further, so I want you to match now and tell me which option is correct. A, B, C. So I hope you all agree that this option is matching A. So A is your answer. So that's how a multiple choice problem can be solved. Now in the exam, they might change the numbers, but the method will be same. You need to do correct factorization. You need to do correct division. You need to use the correct identity. So just do practice on more similar questions. Okay, so herein I have provided a formula sheet for you, and if you see, they have solved maybe by a little longer or a little different method, but any which ways the answer is going to be same. So here the answer is choice A. If you like their method, do that. If you like my method, do that. Both are going to give you the correct answer. Okay. Similarly for question 2, they have done here by a little different method, and if you see, still the answer is going to be same. Somewhere be careful, there are printing mistakes in this sheet which has been given on the screen here, so make sure you're not following the wrong answers and you do it in your notebook with all the steps that I've told you so that you get correct answer. There's a mistake here that you see, right? This is not the one. The answer here, all the numbers cancel and you're just left with y, 1 2, so 2y square over x. That's the answer. Just check your answer. Okay, now we are moving to another set of questions from the lesson 7.1 and 7.2 of the module where you learn the basic four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we'll be solving few questions from them. These are 12 questions that you see. If I do all of them, it will be a very long video. So I'll do some basic problems here. I'll do question 1 for you, question 2 as well. Then we'll do question 11 and question 12. Okay, this is important questions. So I'll do these for you, and don't worry, for the remaining questions, I will provide you the answer key in the slides to come. So stay glued and let's solve these four questions now one by one. Okay, let's solve the first question now. As you see, both of these questions are on the concept of addition. So if you've seen the formula sheet that I've provided in the beginning of this video, then you know for addition of two rational expressions means you have numerator denominator, you need to make the denominators equal. So here first one, denominator x, it is y. So how do you make equal? Grade 8 mathematics, grade 9 also you have done that. You are going to take LCM, least common multiple. So what is the LCM of x and y? Remember a rule, a tick that is going to help you is that if the denominators are different, one is x, one is y, they don't have anything common, then the LCM is always product. So the LCM here is xy, and why we are taking LCM? We are taking LCM so that the denominators are equal and then we can just play around with the numerators. So I make them equal now, x multiplied with y. The next step, I'm going back to the basics. This is what you've been doing in grade 8 and 9 also, but I'm quickly repeating. Here the denominator is x. So what should you multiply that x with to get the LCM? You need one y, right? So that y now will be multiplied with the numerator. So 3 multiplied with y. What is the second denominator? Y. What you need to multiply to this y to get the LCM? X. So that you do with the numerator. So 5 times x. So your answer is pretty simple. 3y plus 5x. Now you can't really add them. You keep them like that because they're unlike terms. They have different variable. This one has variable y, this one has x, so you can't do anything about it. Just that you have now made the denominators equal. So this is your answer. Okay. Let's come to the second one. Again, look around at the denominator. They are different, but here this time the LCM of these two will not be the product. Reason is, what is the reason? The reason is that they have some terms common. So if you see p square r, the variable part is equal in both. So that will just come once, p square r, and you have the number 8 here, the number y here. So when you have these kind of a stuff where one number is 4, the other one is like a multiple of that same number. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. So you take always the bigger one for LCM. So LCM here, in order to make the denominators equal, would be 8p square r. So I take that. Now, if you see the first term, same LCM, same denominator, so no change to numerator. Add 5 times this. Now this is 4p square r and you need 8p square r. That means you're going to multiply with a 2 here. Okay, so that's your numerator. So what do you get? 3 plus 5 times 2, so 3 plus 10. So the final answer is 13 over 8p square r. Answer. Okay, so I hope you see how you do LCM and how you do addition. Okay, so this is how you solve questions 1 to 6. You can check your answers. These are the questions on the concept of addition and subtraction. So whether it is addition, whether it is subtraction of rational expressions, what you're doing is the LCM. So for question 1, we've already done it. You can see the detailed solution. Answer is same. Then for question 2, it was addition again. This is the answer that you got. Then for question number 3, again addition. This is the final answer. For question 4, addition of rational expression, this is the answer. For question 5, subtraction, this is the answer. For question 6, addition, this is the answer. So solve them yourself and then check your answer from my answer. Okay, so let's do now question 11 and 12. These are important, and the concept that we'll be using while solving these is the same concept we used in the previous questions, is factorization. So wherever you see a quadratic like this one, like in the denominators, you are going to do the factors. That's how you are going to add or subtract them. So question 11 is an addition. I'm going to just make this line so that we distinguish between both of them well. The first rational expression, n over n minus 3. There's nothing much we can do about this. It's already in simplest form. So let's look at the second rational expression. Now in the numerator, there is 2n and 2. So what is common? A 2, I take it out, and inside I'm left with n plus 1. That's the factor form of the numerator. For denominator, it's a quadratic equation, do the middle term splitting, and the two factors that come out for this one will be n plus 1 and n minus 3, right? So that's the factored form. Now you see something common. The reason why we are doing factorization in an addition or a subtraction problem is because when you do factor, some term is cancelling. So you have to just make sure which term is the correct one, do the correct factorization. And if you have forgotten or you want to review factorization, refer to my old videos. There is a playlist. Go to the playlist on my channel and you will find videos on factorization. Okay, now are the denominators same? Yes, so very well. We can do the addition correctly. No need for any other step, and just add up the numerator. So this is the final answer. The factored form you cannot simplify. Okay, so that was about addition. Now let's do subtraction. What is going to change? The only difference is the numerator will have a negative sign. Looking at the denominators, as I told you, we need to do factorization first. So let's factor the denominators. So the factorization of y square plus y minus 12, that's what we need. You'll do term splitting, and the two factors will come out to be y plus 4, y minus 3. The factorization of the second denominator will be as follows. So you do the same method, middle term splitting, and this comes out to be y plus 4 and y plus 2. Now that you have both of them, you can put back in the equation. So question reduces to, so in place of quadratic equation, now I'm putting the factors y plus 4, y plus 2. So let's take the common factor out. Now this is a tricky one. Y plus 4 is there in both. So you are going to just write that factor one time. What is different? Y minus 3 and y plus 2. So you multiply, this is the LCM. Okay, now for numerator, 3 will be multiplied with what is missing. So y plus 4 is there, y minus 3 is there. So y plus 2 minus 2 times what is missing, y minus 3. So just simplify now the numerator, do the multiplication well, collect like terms, and your final answer will come out to be y plus 12 divided by y plus 4 multiplied by y minus 3, y plus 2. Here we don't have any cancellation. This is the answer key for question number 7 till 12. You can check your question 11 and question 12. Here also they have written it in smaller font, but if you see, the answer is same. We got this and this one. So if you like this method that is shown here, you do by that. If you like my method, which is more detailed, you do by that. All methods will give you the same question. Remember, for math, one question can be solved with more than one method. So since your exam has a timer, I would suggest you to follow the method which is quicker for you, which takes less time, so that you are able to finish your exam on time. And please solve these questions yourself and then check using this answer key. Okay, now we are moving on to some of more difficult questions. These are all HOTS questions and that require you for reasoning, for persevering, for solving long questions. So pay attention. From the screen, I'll be selecting question 55, which is extremely important. It is on the concept of Fibonacci numbers. It's a very famous sequence. If you want to Google, you can do it and you'll get more information. It is such a sequence in which each term is the sum of the previous two. So Fibonacci sequence also has quite a lot of significance in mathematics, and it starts from 1 to then the next term is 1. So if you add them, 1 plus 1, it is 2, that's the third term. Then add 1 plus 2, that is 3 next term, 2 plus 3 next term 5, 3 plus 5 next term 8. So go on, and this is how the sequence connects to the previous terms. Now in this question, you have been asked to simplify each continued fraction. So that same concept that is there for Fibonacci sequence will be using for solving ABCD, these parts. Now, as I told you, there is more than one method of solving. I will give you my method and then I'll give you the answer key. So whichever method you find more comfortable, do that. Okay, so we'll work on 55th question, the first four parts. And after that, we'll work on question 56. This is also important. And for question 53 and 54, I've already given, I will give you the answer key in the slides to come so you can check and solve. Okay, this is quite an important question. So let's start. And if you see, let's little bit more focus on the questions. As I told you, answer is in the question itself, right? So one trick which I will give you for solving question 55 is that if you see a part, it is 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by x. So we are talking about division. We are talking about addition also. So all of that we'll do for the first one. And once you get this value, the next part, B part, now look here. Can you see that this is nothing but the same value, A part? So whatever simplification you will get for A part, you will use in B part. Whatever simplification you will get for B part, you will use here in C part. And whatever simplification you will get for C part, you will use here in D part, and so. Okay, so that's the significance of Fibonacci sequence. Each part will be used for solving. Okay, so if you take, for example, the first part to be another variable, you keep on using for solving previous question. Let's look at this one also, which is on simplification. There are a lot of operations that you see. There is negative, so you have subtraction, you see division, you see addition. So I don't want you to get confused, and we'll be solving this question step by step. Another important question. So let's start with 50 of this question, and then we'll be using it for another part. So we are doing A part. I have to find the value of 1 over 1 plus 1 by x. Now since I want to find this whole value, let me take this as y, and the question is to finding what is y here. Okay, now this value of y is a complex fraction. Now what is a complex fraction? In case you have forgotten, let me remind you. Complex fraction is a fraction in which your you see here this term 1 by x, it's like 1 by x, it's a division, it has a numerator denominator, and then this is again in another fraction, 1 over 1 plus 1 by x. So you see two fractions, or you see two rational expressions within the same, and you are dividing them. So it's a complex fraction, little more looks little more difficult to find its value than a normal fraction. That's why it's complex. Okay, so let's do it step by step so that there is no confusion. Let's simplify the denominator first. Denominator is 1 plus 1 by x. It doesn't have a denominator, so automatically 1. And now, as you saw in the previous questions, the question, let's do it stepwise. So this denominator you are going to add, right? Now, when you are going to add different denominators, the LCM is to be taken. So for the LCM, it's quite easy to understand. 1 is 1, 1 is x, so LCM is going to be x. So the question reduces to, now the denominator is only 1x and numerator will be x plus 1. Okay. Now 1 divided by this means, in a way we can say we are trying to take reciprocal of this denominator. So I'm writing it one more time, x plus 1 over x. Reciprocal means you switch, you flip the numerator denominator. So when I'm taking reciprocal, the final answer after this step will be the one which is in denominator comes up, the one which is in numerator goes down. So this is the value. So our final answer, we had to find y is this one. Now I'm going to put it in a black box by changing color so that you know we have got answer for A part. Right? Now, can we say in this part, this is the same value? So if this is y for me, then this question reduces to 1 plus 1 plus y. Agreed, everyone? So we are using for part B, part A. Now already we know value of y. So let's calculate this expression. So if y is x over x plus 1, how much is y plus 1? That is your denominator here. Anyway, you write same answer. So y plus 1 would be this value, x over x plus 1 plus 1. Again, we take LCM, it will be x plus 1, and in numerator this is x plus, since there is no denominator, it is 1, so same as. Combine now x with x gives you 2x plus 1 over x plus 1. So this is the value, don't get confused, of y plus 1. So you have to be very careful, change color again. So this is value of y plus 1 which we have got. But what is the answer for B part? It is 1 over this. Means you have to take reciprocal of y plus 1. So what is the reciprocal of this? Answer, that will be for B part. So reciprocal of this means denominator comes on top, flip the numerator denominator, and this comes down. So this is the answer for B part. Now I hope similarly, following the same pattern, you will be able to do C and D as well. So this reduces. Now if this whole expression you have got, so this is 1 over 1 plus the B part. So just put this value that you have got back here, and that will give you your answer. Sorry, this value, yeah, for B part, correct. Let's now simplify this complex fraction which is given to you. Again, why it's a complex fraction, let's recall, because it has so many operations. So it has actually, let me just put it in a different way so that you girls can identify. This one, it has as the numerator, this one as the denominator, right? So it has a numerator and denominator. It's a fraction definitely, and that numerator and denominator is also in the terms of a fraction. Again, it has multiple operation. You see subtraction, you see addition, you also see division, and all of that. So a lot of things to be done. Let's first of all simplify the numerator and the denominator, and then in the end we will divide them. Okay, so let's write. We are going to try it in a way which is easy, quick, and simple to understand. So this is my numerator. I have just written it separately. I'll put some brackets also so that we don't do any assignment mistake. Now we write denominator. So this is 4 over, I'm taking this bracket. 3 minus x to the power negative 1. Please don't make any mistake in copying the signs and the values. Any mistake would lead to wrong answer, so be careful. Okay, now how can I simplify this in much better way? It has a negative power, negative exponent, means it's in the denominator. If you take it to the denominator, the sign becomes positive. Remember that. Okay, now denominators are different. So when denominators are different, we go for LCM if it is addition or subtraction. By now you are more confident in that. So what do you have here left? Okay, so you have only 5 minus, now there is x. What more you need to multiply to x to get x square, the LCM? Another x. And don't forget the negative sign, that's pretty important. So that's a little simplification of numerator. Let's do similar process for denominator. So here 4 over, so we are going to convert all the negative exponents that you see like x to the power negative 1. Same here. So I'm going to convert this negative exponent into positive by taking reciprocal. This is what we are going to replace. This becomes 1 over x and this also becomes 1 over x. Correct? Now I need to simplify more. How I'm going to do? 4 divided by, let's take LCM, 3x minus 1 over x here, and for this 6 over x. Okay, so till this step I hope it is clear. We are going to simplify a little bit more. Now this 3x minus 1 over x is in denominator, and it is like 4 divided by this, so this means we can flip this part in the numerator and write it in this way, and this is to be added to 6x. Now again, the denominators are different, so you will go for LCM and simplify it more. What it becomes? X multiplied with 3x minus 1. So the LCM here is product of this denominator with this. So you are left in numerator with 4x square plus 6 times 3x minus 1. Okay. Let's do the final step. We have got our numerator as this value. I'm changing color and marking it blue. We have got our denominator as this value. Final step, you have to divide numerator by denominator, means your final answer would have, let us simplify this more. So we are doing your multiplication, 5 minus x square. Because of negative sign, I'm going to change minus x over x square. This is numerator divided by, this is the denominator. Again, we'll multiply here. So what do we get? 4x square plus 18x minus 1 divided by x times 3x minus 1. Now this division you can convert to multiplication by taking reciprocal of this. So do that, simplify, we'll simplify it more, cancel the common factors and then get your final answer. So solve it in your notebook and let's check your answers in the next slide now. Okay, so this is the same question that we discussed on Fibonacci numbers. You can see your answers for all the paths A to F. Please check your answer. This is the answer key. This is the answer key for question 56. I had done for you stepwise. You may follow this step also. Both the steps are going to give you the same answer for simplification. For this kind of a question, which is a complex fraction and has a lot of operations, I would suggest you to do all the steps correctly, work it out well before you select your option in your exam, because they will have a slight difference and I'm sure you will not do any sort of silly mistake or sign mistake while you simplify. Very important. Last but not the least, I've also provided here question 53 and 54, the detailed solution. So you can just read it out, understand. If you have any queries and questions, you can put it in the comment section. Been from the starting of the video with me till this slide, then I would like to thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Please comment if you have any questions or queries, and I hope with this video you have found some useful tips and tricks for solving your exam questions from module 7. In this video, I would like to again wish you all the best. Keep calm, don't be anxious. Give your best, and most importantly, work hard, study well, revise well, and that is what is going to give you the confidence and success. So this is Ms. Ruchika signing off from today's video, and see you in my next video. I have a special message coming up for all my girls which are going to give an exam. So stay tuned, and that video would be coming out soon. So that's all from me, Ms. Ruchika. Bye bye.